weeks ago, there's a news article about Susan Crawford explaining why people in the United States are paying way more expensive internet connection and getting slower speeds compared to other countries globally. Being curious, I started comparing how much Filipinos pay for their internet. What I found out got me thinking, why are Filipinos paying more for slow internet? So here's what I did. I listed several internet service providers and their current plans in the Philippines and compared them to the ones in the United States. Then I compared the cheapest price for their respective speeds and figured out what country pays less for their internet. For basic speeds, pretty much were the same. For example, Globe Tattoo's 2 Mbps plan costs around 1,229 pesos, and in the United States, AT&T and Time Warner offer 3 Mbps for almost the same price. But then here's where everything gets weird. 3 Mbps costs around 2 to 3,000 pesos here in the Philippines. But with the same price point in the United States, you can get speeds from 20 to 50 Mbps. The fastest speed that you can get in the Philippines is just for 16 Mbps, and you need to pay 6,000 pesos per month to Sky Broadband, and there's actually nothing that costs that much in the United States, and the most expensive one is just for $90 or 3,663 pesos from Comcast, and it already gives you speeds up to 105 megabits per second. So basically, that's twice the price for an internet speed that's more than 6 times slower. But PLDT, Sky Broadband, and Globe Tattoo all offer 100 megabits per second if that's what you're asking, but to get the service, you're gonna need to pay 20,000 pesos per month. And good luck getting it, as they are only available on limited villages and housing communities. Let's move on to cellular data. It's a much better landscape compared to wired internet, and all of our major carriers offer unlimited internet for around 1,000 pesos a month, where in the United States it's more than $70 a month, and for AT&T and Verizon, the biggest wireless networks in the US, actually don't offer unlimited internet at all. But then there's long-term evolution, or LTE, where it gives you much faster data speeds wirelessly. LTE can provide speeds up to 100 Mbps, but what we're seeing right now ranges from around 20 Mbps to 40 Mbps. We're pretty much beaten by US networks when it comes to LTE, with Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint continually growing their LTE footprint. In the Philippines though, Smart and Globe already launched their LTE networks, and Smart had deployed several LTE sites in some areas in 25 provinces, while Globe is trailing way behind. So even though unlimited internet is fairly cheap, you are more likely to experience low internet speeds, except maybe if you're in Metro Manila. And I know what you're thinking, why are we getting slow internet speeds for expensive prices? Well, I don't know. I actually emailed this concern to the Philippine National Telecommunication Commission, or NTC, for answers. And until they get back to me, what we can just do is guess why. The most prevailing theory that I can think of is that our internet service providers lack competition. Maybe except for Metro Manila, there are just 2 or 3 internet providers in a specific area, or maybe even less. But then let's look at our mobile landscape. PLDT owns Smart, Talk and Text, and Sun Cellular, and their only competition in the market is Globe. And yet, our mobile services, specifically with text messaging, is still incredibly cheap. Maybe there's just no demand for high-speed internet access here in the Philippines. Let's look at another possibility. Maybe our ISPs are unregulated. Unlike wireless communication being viewed as a necessity by our government, fast internet connection might be not. That's why they're allowing these ISPs to charge ridiculous amounts for fast internet access. Let's hold on and let's think about the internet service providers for a second. Maybe it's harder to implement high-speed internet access here in the Philippines than any other countries. Because for one, We're composed of thousands of islands, that's why building towers and connecting wires underground or underwater can be very difficult and very expensive. We are also being ravaged by yearly tropical storms and flooding, that's why maintenance and repair can be difficult and expensive too. But anyway, I want you to think about this. The minimum wage for an American is almost as high as the minimum pay for a Filipino for an entire day. And yet we pay more for our internet. Something is definitely wrong there. And the only question left is, what are we gonna do about it?